Delighted to be joined by Tommy Fleetwood here in the Media Centre. Tommy, two-time winner of this event. How nice is it to come back year on year and get going in a Rolex Series event?
Yeah, it's always a lot of our plans to come out and start the year here. I think it's a perfect place really to be starting the season from the weather facilities, the strength of the tournaments and the strength of the fields. I think it's a great way to get going in the year, and I think early doors, in particular in a Ryder Cup year, if you like, having a big start to the year like this week and the following week is a good way of just getting stuck back into it.
Have you managed to snap out of that captaincy mindset and become more individualistic yet?
Yeah, I enjoyed it very, very much. I might have been captain, but I still, love and see myself as being one of, I'm just one of the team and the teammates. I absolutely tried my best for the lads last week, as we all did for each other, and I enjoyed stretching myself with something that I would never, or somebody of my age, I guess, would never get the opportunity normally. So that was a really cool experience for me, and I was lucky that I had some people that were close to me on the side as well that made it feel even better. But yeah, that week's done, as in golf. Every Monday, a new week starts, and you've got a field of players that are just as hungry as you are to perform this week. So you've got to get back into that mindset and prepare for Thursday morning.
You did have a relatively good week personally last week. How does the game feel?
Yeah, I had a good week. I felt like I had some tough matches. And even the first match, I felt like in the four balls, me and Shane, Thomas and Alex were sort of put out there and known as what was supposed to be a strong pairing, or Europe's strongest pairing. And we all were very motivated to get the chance to play those, and I felt like me and Shane had a good chance with a few holes to go, and it didn't quite happen. But the rest of the week for me, I felt like particularly in the foursomes, so Saturday I felt like I played some great golf, and I was really, it's a team game, and it's a week of team golf, but you're always pleased if you've played well for your partner and your teammates and everything. So I was really happy with my own performance for Tyrrell and Jordan, that I played really well in foursomes. So that was great, and the singles as well. I had a good singles, but overall, individual performances on a week like that don't really they matter in terms of points. But when we all can't quite get the points that we needed, I'd have far rather lost all four and watched the guys come in and get the points and won that. But wasn't to be our week, but still, it was good to get into that competitive spirit and that competitive mindset and see what's good, see what things you might be able to improve on coming into this week. And I remember playing the Eurasia Cup in 2018. It was a really good week to sort of start the season going into a competitive week. And I think, don't be surprised if you see a lot of the guys that played last week up there at the top of the leaderboard after 1 and 2 days.
Thanks for those opening remarks. Ewan?
Tommy, as we start a new year and given everything that's happened in this sport over the last 12, 18 months, how do you assess the position this tour is in? Do you think it's in a good place?
I think so. It's an interesting question, actually. I think for myself, and I'm one of the fortunate ones at the moment. I kind of see the schedule, and I kind of see it all as a whole. I obviously play in Europe and America, and I just pick my schedule, and I just see those events as the events I'm playing, and this is how I want to perform, this is how I want to do. And I think events like this, I think, are huge for the tour, and I think going by the schedule and the way that the world of golf is going at the moment, I think this month is an important month for the tour, and then it obviously seems like you'll have the month of summer, and then it's going to be September where the tour needs to be strong and have those great events. That's the way it seems like it's going to be. I absolutely love this tour. I love coming out here and playing, and I hope that it does. It can go from strength to strength from here. But the strange things happening all the time, and there has been for a year. And I guess, like many, I'm just waiting to see what does happen. But my schedule sort of is a world schedule, if you like. But I think this month and September and summer are very important.
Martin?
Tommy, could you talk a little bit about Luke's input last week and how you see his style of captaincy?
I enjoyed being around him. I've always enjoyed being around Luke. I think 100% is growing every day in the role. I thought he was originally. I thought he was had a very good chance of being the captain, and so I was very happy when he did get it. Being sort of myself being a captain and having a bigger role last week and seeing it was interesting bouncing ideas off him and being involved in that side and seeing how he would think compared to how I would think, and no doubt about it, there's a lot more experience in his mind and in his head than what's in mine, and very smart. And I think he's going to be great. I think we're coming into a period where we have a great bunch of players as well, and I'm hoping come September we can all be on form. But I do like Luke. I like his attitude and his persona, and I like, even for something like last week, I loved how he goes about things and like the experience that was in his mind making decisions as to how sort of I'm not quite there yet.
In addition to yourself and Frankie, there were a number of the younger lads, Sean, and they included Bob. Can you just talk about the way Bob performed on the course, but maybe more so in the changing room, the dressing room, team room?
Yeah, I text Bob throughout the week a couple of times just to sort of give him some individual chat, really, when you get the chance. And I was very clear of how well he was playing and how important he was for the team. And I think, for instance, I played him at the back end all week, and I think that is, there's leading the team out. There's like being in the middle with your teammates around you and being like the glue in that team, to whether you have momentum to keep that going or whether you're sort of losing it to actually change that. And then there's the guys at the back where I've experienced being in that position, and it's a very difficult position to be in, because what you do, it has a massive effect on how the day finishes, going into the next day, and you're also likely to be the only one out on the golf course at the end. And I had a lot of faith in Bob with his personality and his character that he could do that. And everybody last week was a fantastic part of the team. I've just been in that team where they gelled together so well, and everybody's personality mixed so perfectly was great. And Bob was just another one of those guys, and he couldn't have asked for more from him on the golf course either. He was great.
Swami?
Tommy, moving away from here, you've done very well here, and last year you also moved to the UAE. How much has it helped your golf and the fact that you can actually practice through the winters here and like not be in really cold environment back there?
I feel like I'm sharper through like the consistency of my practice and how that is. I think Jumeirah Golf Stakes has helped me a lot in terms of the challenges that course. So I would play that course more than any other, and I think the fact that I have to drive the ball so well and hit shots, constantly hitting shots that on a tour golf course that tour level golf requires, I think has helped me a lot in terms of how ready I am when I come from a week or two off, or 3 weeks off, or a month off, or whatever we've just had. I think it has helped me, and it's made a big difference. In addition to that, I just love that my kids are outside all the time. They finish school and they want to go play golf, or Frankie wants to play golf or go to the park or play football, and I love that aspect to the life that we have right now. But for sure, the move's gone well. I love being out here. I love being part of the academy as well when I'm there day in, day out, and definitely sharpness and the ability to just be playing a lot in good conditions in the weather. Hopefully I don't go too soft for when the rough days in Scotland come about in summer and winter, but I'm sure I'll be fine. But in terms of my game, I just think definitely on the golf course, hitting shots that are required out on tour has made a difference to me so far.
And one question on last week, were there any particular youngsters who caught your eye, say someone like Nikolai, even though he was not on your team?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I think the guys perform very, very well. It's difficult to look at the other team sometimes. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I get so engulfed in what my team are doing, whichever team I'm on and whatever role that I'm playing. The only interest I actually have on any team week is my own team and what is best for the team and how best I can help that team. And again, to the last day, to within 3 or 4 matches to go, I still believed that we were going to win. But the Europeans played some really, really good golf, and I think what was really good is it's a different pressure coming down the last 3 holes, even on a Friday or a Saturday. You know, you're not playing to win a tournament, you're playing to win a point, but there's still a different pressure playing for your teammates and coming down the stretch. And I think everybody showed really good character on both sides, you know, all week, and I think that was a really good sign for us all. Not particularly. I think everybody had their fair share of their moments on both sides. Of course, there's guys that played, say, a bit more consistently throughout the week, but, you know, people have good weeks and bad weeks all the time. I don't really look at things as a week on a whole. I look at situations like down the last 3 holes or last 4 holes when the pressure is on, and I think, honestly, there's nobody that performed any different, or nobody that didn't hold a crucial putt, nobody that didn't stand up and stride down the 17th and 18th fairway when it mattered. Like they all wanted to be there and they all wanted those situations. And whether it was GB&I or whether it was Europe, I think everybody was really impressive in those situations.
Fatia?
Tommy, you've been beaten by European. Did you identify? Did you identify the reason? And
well, I think they played. I think they played that little bit better than us. I think there was a few matches that went down the last hole. The last hole can always go either way, and we couldn't. You know, we got it a couple of times. We managed to turn those around on the last, but the majority we didn't. And I think, in particular, on the sort of hour or 2 of golf I managed to get to watch on Sunday when I'd finished my match. You stand there on the sidelines, and there's always like a key moment in matches, or there's a putt or a chip or something, and you're willing your teammate to do well or hole it, and you're not particularly willing the other teammate to hole it. But like I felt like Europeans controlled those moments well. They held some great putts. Some things just didn't go our way, and you know, I think ultimately overall we didn't. They got in front early in the week. They got in front on Friday, and we just never managed to catch up, which I guess, again, Luke touched on it a lot throughout the week about fast starts. He wants to be pumping that into the guys, and Paul McGinley mentioned it as well. And I think, yeah, for us, we didn't get off to that fast start, and we were always playing catch-up and just couldn't. I was hoping in the singles that we could just get level or ahead and then see how we will go from there, and we just never managed to get to. So they got up early and controlled the week really well.
just another question about the region. This region regarding golf, it's growing big. You live in UAE yourself. Are you contributing to the growth, and how?
Well, I don't know. I hope so. The academy at Jumeirah is a huge thing for me, and look, wherever people are playing golf around the world, I personally want to play a part in growing that for people and using the game to prepare people for life. It's not that everybody is going to be a professional golfer or everybody is going to play on tour golf, but I do think golf has so many challenges and you require so many attributes in golf that can help prepare you for life, whatever that is. And I want to use the game to do that. I love being around the game. I love that, so far in my career over the last few years, I've done pretty well, and hopefully I can use my name and the academy and just being around people to help inspire people to try the game and enjoy the game and then stay in the game as well. I think that's important for people to just continue to enjoy the game. And no doubt about it, from the grassroots to the elite end of the spectrum in this region in particular, golf is growing at both ends, and I think that's really important. And you don't get the elite side without having numbers at the bottom. And I think everything that we're doing and everything that everybody in the region is doing to grow the game and get people into it, it's such a great sport out here. It really, really is. I talk about my son Frankie. All he wants to do when he finishes school is go chipping, putting, hitting balls. And I would love more and more kids to do that and then grow through the game. So hopefully we can keep doing that, and not just in this region, but throughout the world, because I think the game has got a lot to give.
Tommy, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Time to speak.
Thanks.
And best of luck this week.